Welcome to episode 50 of the 2-Minute Warning.
Yeah.
Today on the table, the New Orleans Saints and what we expect from this team going forward in this season. And
I'm saying right now, week 9 coming up, Bucks and Saints rematch. I'm taking the Bucks. They got Tom Brady and Antonio Brown together again. I'm gonna take the Bucks in week 9 over the Saints, and I think in general, at the end of the season, the Bucks will take the Saints in the division, but overall the Saints will 100% make the playoff. Sadly, they'll be a 5th or 6th seed due to have them be a wild card. I think the Bucks will win, but I do think this team has potential to go deep, not to the Super Bowl, but at least to the second or third round of the playoffs.
Yeah, this is a team that I expect to see as a strong wild card. I expect the Bucks to take that NFC South division, but it doesn't mean that the Saints team is not solid. Because of the fact that Drew Brees is aging, he's getting older, the Saints team is completely under the radar, in my opinion. The Saints have always been, since Drew Brees, from day one, and since he got there, has been a solid team. Every single year in the playoff mix, leading their division. So for this season, they've kind of snuck under the radar, and I think this is going to be a really sneaky team as a wild card 5 or 6 seed in the NFC that's going to get at least 2 wins. At least a first-round win, and I think an NFC Championship appearance is not unlikely.
Luckily, in the Saints' favor, like I said, I take the Bucks in the division. So there's a chance the Saints get the 5th seed, which puts them up against Dallas division, which will probably be the Eagles coming out of the division. And that's almost a first-round bye at this point.
Yep.
Versus the Bucks winning the division, getting the 2nd or 3rd seed, and having to play the Electric Cardinals or the Rams. I mean, it's almost better to not be the division winner outside the home field advantage, but the Saints just... They have a lot of potential. I think they'll beat the Eagles, and then they'll probably, in my opinion, lose second round between Seattle, Bucks, and Packers. They'll face one of those three and lose, in my opinion. They'll 100% make the playoffs and get a first round win, is my guess.
Yeah, I would love. It's not necessarily very likely. I don't see the Saints winning the Super Bowl this year.
No.
Not even really appearance is likely, but I'd love to see Drew Brees get a couple more playoff wins under his belt. The man deserves a ring, another ring, more than anyone in the league, in my opinion.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. So I'd love to see this Saints team go far. There's no doubt that offensively and defensively they have talent on their roster.
Oh, yeah.
Between arguably, I say Derrick Henry has that top back spot kind of locked down. Yeah. But Kamara, probably second best back in the league. Yeah. Electric player. Of course, Drew Brees, the veteran. Michael Thomas is kind of questionable what he's doing right now with his injuries and his problems with the teammates, but he's a great receiver, obviously.
If
Emmanuel Sanders.
Michael Thomas does come back, that might change everything on a playoff outlook. It really could.
Yep. They have some big names on defense, Jay. Who they got on defense? They got
Malcolm Jenkins, who's won a ring with them before, won a ring with the Eagles. He's back now. Jack Rabbit Jenkins, Marshawn Lattimore, Defensive Rookie of the Year when he was drafted. Cameron Jordan, great pass rusher. And they just traded for Quan Alexander, great young linebacker, went to the Bucks, went to the Niners, now with the Saints. I think they got a steal for him, amazing linebacker, I think, to help with that front seven.
So, right. So if you look at the Saints team on paper, they can win football games, to simply put it. But, I mean, looking at their upcoming schedule, they got Bucks this coming week. That's going to be a tough game for them to win, and that's going to determine a lot about the division. But, I mean, their upcoming schedule, it's just them here, right here. So, again, the Bucks, they got the Niners who they can beat. Falcons are just a weird team. They can come out and put up 30 points. The Falcons can, or put up 10 and whatever. So I think they'll beat the Falcons. Broncos they can beat. Eagles, like you said, is a likely playoff matchup. I think they can beat. So out of the remaining games, I see the Saints team getting 6 more wins.
What my assumption was, they got 9 games left. I predict they'll lose to the Bucks, lose to the Chiefs. They're at 2 losses right now. That'll put them at 4 losses. And I think between the Falcons twice, the Niners once, the Eagles, and the Vikings, outside of the Eagles, all those teams could put up high numbers, especially the Falcons and Vikings.
They'll probably drop 2 of those games.
Yeah, I think of those 5 games, they'll lose at least 1 or 2 of them, which puts them right at 5 or 6 wins. Yeah. Or 5 or 6 losses, and that's why I think the Bucks will get the division. Mm-hmm. I think they'll finish with 4 or 5 wins. But the Saints are in a great spot. They're definitely going to make the playoffs. At minimum, I see 10 wins coming to them, and 9 times out of 10, if you get 10 wins, you're in a wild card of the playoffs.
Yep. So, again, the Saints team is a team that I am very confident we're going to see a playoff win out of them this year. And if you just look, if you look at the last 3 years, what's happened to them in the playoffs between last season, a heartbreaking loss to Minnesota on a questionable no call on Kyle Rudolph, that questionable push-off for them to lose on that touchdown pass from Cousins to Rudolph. The year before was the Rams play where they got not even a questionable call. It was just a purely bad call, missed pass interference call. And the year before with the Minneapolis Miracle, this Saints team is due for something big. I just don't think this is the year to do it because
they were due for it the past 3 years.
Exactly.
After all
so I think that's going to be a heartbreaking end to Drew Brees' legacy of him not getting a ring. But I'd love to see them get a playoff win this year.
Yeah, the good thing for Drew Brees and the Saints is that they have a lot of wild cards on offense that just seem to sneak past and make a big play. Like Jared Cook could come out of nowhere and be wide open. It seems like Taysom Hill is anything you want.
Yeah, and literally anything you want on the
he'll
football
tackle,
field.
he'll throw, he'll run, anything you want. That's a great
Catch
wild card
passes,
for
too.
Sean Payton to play with in the offense to move around that could throw off any defense really. But long term, like we said, I'm gonna stick with my prediction: first round win, second round exit.
Yep. So verdict is we'll see them in the playoffs, but not too much.
Sounds good. 2 minutes.
2 in the morning.